white people have been complaining, some, and they're right to complain, that the Jew is not sharing in his guilt. So I'm going to say Jews are white people too, the white Jews. Okay. The way things work is the white man sets up people, including other white people, but mostly minorities. Look at colonism, right? White people suffered to a certain degree, but it was mostly aimed at minorities in terms of, Africa and America, okay, and India and so on and so forth. Okay. White people set you up after they set the stage for them to have the upper hand unfairly, argue that they have some kind of righteous or logical philosophy that's fair, whether it's Christian or scientific or New Age, what have you, atheist, agnostic, etc., occult, etc. And then they set you up and then push you over the edge. For example, in my case, they went way out of their way to get my parents to agree to live in the middle of nowhere, in a small white town, about 1% to 2% black, and the black people who live here aren't very accommodating, okay, of me, right? They don't deal in moral precision. They're groupies, okay? They're token minorities or some really poor person who is told not to hang out with me, basically. So then they have women dress a certain way, right? They call it teasing, sexually suggestive, sexually provocative. Even if they're dressed in a corporate way, if you're being shunned by women and you're a man at all, you desire marriage, you desire to make love, and so on and so forth. They try to bring it out of you, okay? They try to provoke you and set you up. They plant people in your life to try to encourage you to go in the wrong direction. Okay, this is a common complaint. They address this massive complaint of their misdirection, of their setting the stage to temptation. The devil's a tempter, the god of this world, is the white man's world. Okay, to tempt you and try to push you over the edge. They're going to say you're twisting it. They're the type of person to rape a kid in a public park and with a badge on and have a bunch of white guys standing right next to them and they're all saying, well, we don't see it either. You're twisting it. That's the type of people they are. Okay, now, I'm part white. I'm not racist. But collectively, okay, the spectrum doesn't transcend this. Where's the white people who stand with me and say, I'm not going to watch the most righteous man that ever lived get shunned? That's far worse than letting 7.8 billion people die who are not righteous. One righteous life is greater than every other life on the planet if it isn't righteous. Because people who do the wrong thing deserve to get stoned to death. They deserve to get imprisoned, etc. in their various scenarios. People that fume the righteous guy or play stupid when he's fumed and slipping on his words deserve to be punished severely. Fumed in the car, fumed in the house, even fumed outside if I make videos outside. Fumed in my room, my brother's room. Okay, fumed. These are the type of people that will fume you when they have a long history of tear gassing people at protests, using chemical weapons and gases in war, okay? Using different sprays in the air and on the food and so on and so forth. I don't know how true chemtrails are, but I do know they're spraying things these days, and it's pretty much all but admitted at this point, okay? They're the type to put a person on the moon and say, hey, what makes you think that we would use technology to keep the black man down after all they did to the Panthers and Martin Luther King and his family? They cover up what they did to his family. It's not really known, okay, what they did to the Nation of Islam and so on and so forth. He is just a sniveling devil liar that has not even, it just is terrified of death because he knows that God couldn't possibly be on his theater art, sniveling coward side. Type to hide behind a snowman, plug in a kid, and swear up and down that he's the true order of God. Just thoroughly, morally bankrupt. You don't look to thistles and thorn bushes for the children of God. You simply don't. I reject Israel. I reject Europe. I reject America as logical places to look for the Son of God unless it is me. Okay? Period. There's no fucking excuse for what they've done. There's no excuse for how women have shunned me for white social norms, for money when it's the root of all evil, to delight in evil. There's no excuse for choosing fancy things over righteousness. There's no excuse for choosing materialism over morally precise love. Love comes from justice, not financial stability. Love comes from truth, not theater illusion, fairy fantasy role-playing bitch. When will they grow up? When will they give up their Barbie doll bitch and grow up?